He's in, you know. What's up, guys? We're heading towards the Nindies right now, the Nintendo Indie Show. It's coming up in half an hour, I guess 29 minutes now from what we're seeing. And there's a lot of stuff coming up. Like, a lot of games are going to be shown here. It's not like going to be 3 or 4. Last time we had an indie show from Nintendo, they just hit us with a big sizzle reel and they showed us a chart of all of these games. So we're expecting a lot of stuff, but there are going to be some games you guys want to keep an eye out for too, that we've been really, I guess, doing some research, taking a look at. Some pretty cool ones that I think maybe fly under the radar. Now, a few of the big ones you need to really pay attention for today that we're looking for. We're definitely looking for, release dates on Stardew Valley. Definitely, we want a release date. They just submitted it for testing. We were talking about that earlier. Yeah. So testing is done. Nintendo's doing a final look, so they probably have an idea of a release date, and we might see that today. And then we're looking for a release date on Rocket League by far, maybe some gameplay. We saw those cars. You saw the Metroid car, obviously.
That was really they'll definitely show off the new cars, get people excited about that.
Yeah. The cars are a big deal, obviously, because it's something that no other system has, just Nintendo's Nintendo Switch. And then, obviously, some of the other ones to gloss over that most of us probably have already played are games like Hollow Knight, and Owlboy, because we've already played them. Great games. Those might be ones we see a quick sizzle reel of, because they're not, I guess, some of the big games that people are really asking questions about. Evan, why don't you tell me a little bit about, I guess State of Mind was the big one you were looking at right now.
That one kind of flew at me. Like, I had no idea, which kind of sucks because it has been talked about for a while and it just flew under my radar. It was Daedalic Entertainment, which story games, that's the company I seem to turn to if I actually want a game with a good in-depth story. It's going to be long. It's actually going to have a lot of character growth and all that in it. Normally they do the adventure style games, kind of like less comedy, older Sam & Max type games. I played, I think, Chains of Satnov? It's always so weird because they're a foreign company. They always use the crazy names for things. But it was a really solid game, and they keep putting out new ones almost every year now, and they just keep getting better and better. And then to see the trailer for State of Mind and to look into kind of the elements of it, it seems to be, I think it's their first, sortie into a 3D game, a 3D actual first-person perspective, go through and experience a world from that perspective type game, which is really interesting.
It is interesting because it talked about kind of like I like the art style is very interesting.
They always focus on art heavily.
Yeah. It seemed like it was more of an atmospherical game, I guess, but it was done by Daedalic, right? Yeah, you liked them a lot. You talked about them a good bit. And very quickly, there's probably going to be nothing about ukulele from what we've seen. They did put out a tweet saying they missed the boat in their words on this, so we won't see anything about ukulele. And that's I don't know how to feel about that, because I feel like we should see ukulele at least get a release date here and give us something, because that game's been out for a while.
Yeah, but I mean, if you consider a lot of the games currently coming up on the Switch have been out for much longer than ukulele, and now we're getting released.
Yeah, that's a good point. There are a few that are already been released for a while now. Yeah. But there are also some that aren't out yet, which is good. SteamWorld Dig 2 is not out yet, and that was really big for Nintendo fans since it was on the 3DS and the older systems, which is good. But then, of course, we have Battle Chasers. That's a game you've been looking into.
Yeah, that's just going to be a solid game, I think.
You think so? Yeah. You said it was done by the guys who did the art style for Darksiders, right?
Yeah, Joe Madaware and a lot of people from his team, the ex-Vigil devs that worked on Darksiders 1 and 2, that had a lot of the hand in how that game played as well. But that's why I'm not really feeling Darksiders 3. I'm going to have to see more about that, because I feel like the big brains of that company went to this game. So it should be pretty exciting for the Battle Chasers title. I don't think their Kickstarter got to the point where he's doing another chapter in that comic book, though, sadly, so I'm going to miss out on that.
Because there's a comic book he was doing?
Yeah, it's one of his older comics. That's how this became a thing.
Oh, I saw it was on Kickstarter, and a lot of people backed that. But that's interesting. So that's where his 2D art style came from, kind of.
Well, yeah, he's a comic artist.
Yeah. Okay.
But the story itself came from a world he created, I think, almost 2 decades ago, a little less than that.
Okay. Wow, man. So we did also play Brawl Out. They showed that in the trailer. There was a whole trailer for Nindies, ones that we can expect. I do think we will get some kind of new announcement for something, but they also showed Brawl Out, and we played Brawl Out.
Yeah.
it was okay. They do have it on Steam right now. You can try it out, but they're still missing. They're missing characters right now. There's some characters they're missing.
Yeah, I think it was only 2 that were missing off of what we saw. They can always add more, of course. But hopefully they do.
Well, that's what we were talking about. We were saying, wouldn't it be cool if they, if because we saw with Rocket League they were allowed to use Metroid and Mario and Luigi for their cars. What if they got some kind of character from the Nintendo universe for Brawlout?
Again, I highly doubt it. I mean, you got Smash Brothers coming up, and that's where that
true.
goes.
That's true. Yeah.
So there's no reason for them to hand that off to these Brawlout guys, especially the game's just missing a ton of characters. Like, it needs another row of characters in their selection screen to really catch me.
That's the problem. They didn't have a lot of characters.
Nah.
There was like 8 maybe of that. And that felt a little slower too, but maybe it's not a Nintendo character. Maybe it's another indie character because they did it. Hyper Light, the Drifter.
I think that would be where they'd pull from. This would be like the indie Smash Brothers versus the complete Nintendo Smash
We did see the
Brothers.
Cave Story character that was in 3D, and everyone's thinking maybe it's going to Brawl Out. That wouldn't be a bad idea to get pulled from Cave Story. I think Nicholas would be pretty good, I think, about doing that and allowing that to happen. So we've talked about some of those, and of course I think one that most of us want to see, because I see it in the chat a lot, is something about Shakedown Hawaii. It's the people who did Retro City Rampage, which you've played Retro City Rampage before.
Yeah,
a bit. Okay. It's kind of a parody of Grand Theft Auto in like the 8-bit style, and Hawaii looks great. It's an awesome looking game, but we haven't seen any kind of really release date. They just keep saying 2017. We saw a lot of it in the last indie trailer that they showed, the whole presentation. So I have to see something about Shakedown Hawaii, because I'm a big fan of the Retro City Rampage. They're actually one of the few companies that actually talks to me occasionally, so they're actually pretty cool about that. They're very good with their fans. So if you're on Twitter, they actually will respond to you quite a bit. But that's something I really want to see there. Oh, thanks, R. Potter. Congrats on the Mario Rabbids shout out. Yeah, did you see that? I was in the Mario Rabbids game.
You were in it?
I was, yes. Nice. They say Spawny in it.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the characters is named Spawny, and people were sending me that picture a lot because it says Spawn. Like Bowser Jr. says Spawny in the game, and he's looking like kind of at the camera while he's saying it. So everyone was figuring that they were Ubisoft, dropping the hints in there.
I mean, I doubt they know. It's going to be kind of cool.
That'd be pretty funny, yeah. Okay, so we're talking about that, and then we talked a little bit here about Away, which is another indie game that we should see some of here. Roguelite, first-person, adventure-style game, it looks kind of like.
It seems interesting. The mechanics at least do. And the guy making it, he talked a lot about kind of what drives him to make these specific visual style, or this rather specific style visual game. He's a huge fan of anime. He's a huge fan of that whole world of like over the top action and just ridiculous looking things. So that's what he's going for in this. The characters are all 2D cutouts. Even the enemies are pretty much all 2D cutouts. So they always face you. They have that kind of old style feel of, I guess, Doom, like the original Doom, where they're just kind of constantly facing you, constantly walking.
Well, it looks like it's going to be kind of actiony, but it looks like it's going to be more about like dialogue and trying to recruit characters.
Dialogue and interaction is pretty big. Because he said the way it works is, I guess if you help people out, you'll gain friend points or whatever with them. Then you can use, I think he said a friend cube was a thing you have, which pulls them into your party. And then you can switch from your character to these characters. So you'll actually gain access to abilities, combat types, and stuff that you probably normally wouldn't be able to do at all just because you're your basic character. But you can switch live as you go through. You can have like a mage or like a really cool tank, and then just switch between them as you go through missions.
Visually, that game actually looks pretty good, too, for an indie game. I think it looks pretty good.
Bad. It looks like sort of the standard, like you get an engine and it has the specific types of tree and grass that you can use if you don't want to use something you make. It looks like he's built the worlds on those and then created his own assets, being the 2D characters and stuff.
So we've talked a little bit about Stardew Valley, a little bit, and this is a game that I think we all want to see a release date for.
Definitely.
Because it's going to have this, it's going to debut co-op mechanics alongside the PC version with the Switch version, and then they may bring it down the road to the PS4 and the Xbox One, but they did say specifically they want to debut it on the Switch and then the PC at the same time. Mostly because the Switch obviously is like the Switch has quickly become the co-op system.
Yeah,
it's the couch co-op system. It's the one you get. It comes with 2 controllers out of the box, 2 Joy-Cons, and that will work fine, by the way, with Stardew Valley. You don't need a ton of buttons for Stardew Valley. So a game like that will sell, I think, really well on the Switch just because of that. But we don't have a release date. We still don't have one. They of course submitted for testing. Do you think that this is where we get that release date?
Hopefully,
like,
is this it? Hopefully it is. But I'm trying to remember. We talked a bit. I mean, they didn't really say anything that they were doing with like the Harvest Moon titles yet. Still.
No, there is a Harvest Moon title out there right now. I'm trying to remember what it was called completely.
If they're trying to release a Harvest Moon and then they try to drop this before it, I think people pay more attention to Stardew.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Stardew Valley quickly took over the Harvest Moon genre almost. I mean, this
so I don't know what they would do about it because they definitely want it. They definitely want it on the Switch. But if they're working on Harvest Moon, when do they do that? Like, do they drop the Stardew and then do they try to surpass it?
You mean Nintendo just try to spread them out a little bit so they don't get lost? Well, they might be worried about Harvest Moon getting lost underneath Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley is there's more to it.
No, there's
a lot more to it. Yeah.
So do they have to catch up Harvest Moon to the quality of Stardew and then try and surpass it with something?
I mean, I guess, but at this point, I honestly think 50% of Nintendo Switch owners will buy Stardew Valley. Like, I think the attach rate for that game will be... Like, when they put it out, there's always the eShop charts that you see where they tell you where a game... I see Stardew Valley, like, right at the top. Like, one or two easily when it comes out. So I feel like they want to get it out as soon as they can because there's a lot of money just sitting there waiting. So that's something I feel like we should see something about that. What they could do also is debut the co-op mechanic gameplay. Actually show some gameplay of it. They might even do that Friday night when there is a full-on like developers indie stream that's going to happen with Nintendo at PAX West. Something we're not going to, unfortunately. I would like to go to PAX West, but we're not. And then Wargroove. We talked about this a little bit. It's Advanced Wars.
Yeah.
Okay. It's going to be like an Advanced Wars style game, but they did talk about how there will be sharing of levels, so you can build your own levels and you can share them online with other people if you want. Of course, it's going to have a full story mode, but the big thing is it'll have like a co-op mode kind of. You'll work together with your friends or whoever else is at home with you at the time, and then you can share levels, so you can build them. It's almost like the Advanced Wars, I guess, mixed with Mario Maker kind of.
Yeah.
I played some Advanced Wars, but I didn't get super into it. I like the tactical games. And I feel like I would check it out, but again, we don't know a lot about this game as opposed to some of the other indie games we're going to see where we've seen quite a bit of footage. Something like Hollow Knight and Owlboy, we already know, we've played it.
Yeah, it's been out.
But Wargroove will be another big one I think that a lot of us would like to see. And then, of course, we have to try to start figuring out what games are going to be here that would be new. Because I'm trying to figure out what new... Now, Super Meat Boy should be here.
Yeah,
Super Meat Boy should be a game.
No.
Yeah, I know, but it's still it's a game that they seem to want on there. But they talked about on Twitter how Super Meat Boy should be in the limelight. You'd say earlier, like later on today. They made reference to it, and they said that it's pay attention to Super Meat Boy's YouTube channel apparently, which tells me that there's going to be a trailer after the Nindies probably because it'll be a part of it.
Yeah.
So I would expect Super Meat Boy to be there.
Hopefully they add stuff to it. Because with all these approaches to games where it's becoming this game plus Maker, why not Super Meat Boy Maker?
That would be really funny. That'd be aggravating, I think. People would make some of the most demented levels I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And then, of course, somebody's making a great point here in the chat. Undertale would be perfect on the Switch.
Yeah.
Like, they just released that on the PS4 and the Vita recently, and it did well.
Yeah, it'll fit very well on the Switch. I mean... The worry is always, like, are enough people going to rebuy it? Because most likely someone has played it on something by this point.
Yeah.
Are you going to rebuy it for this? What kind of incentive can they give you to want to rebuy it on the Switch? But, I mean, at this point, if it's easy, like, if it's just one push of a button, then it's on the Switch, why not?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I think that's what a lot of the indie developers on PC are doing now. I think they're realizing how easy it is to port these games to the Switch right now. Yeah. I mean, we keep seeing it. So many games are not even on the other systems. They're just on the PC and on the Switch because I guess it's easy to port to, and Nintendo is very open to indie developers right now, which is interesting because they haven't been this open to indie developers in a while. It's interesting to see that.
I'm just hoping they keep some filters going.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm starting to find some games that are not good that are on the Switch that people are kind of shoveling on there essentially. So they do have to keep their filters up pretty well. There needs to be some kind of standard there. I think so. But we have that. Monster Boy will probably be shown. They're still working on, I guess, either a solid release date, gameplay video, everything for that. They keep showing footage of it, and it keeps looking better. It looks very similar to Wonder Boy, which I played a little while ago. That was pretty fun. Good 2D retro style style game. Flipping Death we talked about a little bit. We're gonna see if they have any other information about. I'm hoping for a bunch of release dates here.
Yeah.
That's what I really want to see is a bunch of release dates because a lot of these are supposed to be 2017 and then some early 2018, but we're getting close to the end of 2017 and we don't have release dates.
Yeah, because is it Nintendo that chooses these release dates? Because that's going to be super important to spread them out enough that you don't have that moment where you're trying to either think of purchasing, I don't know, Battle Chasers or Stardew, like at the same time. Like,
I think they work together on it. I think Nintendo and the company go back and forth and they come up with a release date. But sometimes we see a game get announced and then it's coming out like a week later. Like Double Dragon 4 got announced and it's coming out a week later.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, geez, okay, I guess I'm getting ready for that one. Fortunately, most of these games aren't like expensive games. It's not like they're like, oh yeah, Mario Odyssey's out next week and it's $60. And you're like, oh, well, okay, makes I'm buying that. These are games that don't cost a lot, and they're there to really help bolster that eShop lineup, you know, because I think a year from now we'll look back and we'll see just a crazy amount. They may even have an indie game section at that point because there'll be so many indie games on this system, which isn't a bad thing. Having a portable indie game system is a good thing. You know, I'm happy about that. And then we got to figure out what, like I said, new games are coming to this because Payday 2 isn't new, but they still managed to show it at the last indie show that they did.
yeah.
Payday 2, out of nowhere. I don't think anyone was expecting that. No one was going into there and thinking, oh, I guess we'll see Payday 2 here. Monopoly was shown there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, no one expects these type of games to be there, but they're there. They're games that aren't technically indie games because they're developed by big companies, but they still manage to show them off there. I guess you'd call these, like, B games, right? There's, like, A, B. I guess you'd say it's a double A game. There's triple A, and then I guess there's double A. Monopoly, although I think will sell well, believe it or not, because it's you put the tablet down, the tablet part of the Switch, and then you use the Joy-Cons, and it sits there like a little board.
I don't know if that's a real selling point. As long as the community is there, because Monopoly, I feel like Monopoly is that niche community that will buy it everywhere. Like they probably own all the versions.
They want to.
Like the
they're
special ones
collectors.
we kept getting.
Yep. They're collectors. I could see that, but I mean, it's Monopoly without the cleanup.
Yeah.
And if it actually is done well, like you have the Joy-Cons where you actually roll the dice that way, that's something that I think would be really cool. Okay, so we went through all of those. We have 2 minutes left before we go on a quick, I guess a very quick break before the Nindies start. Very quickly, what's your most anticipated game here that you just want to see?
I want to see more. I want to see more State of Mind.
State of Mind. You're hoping for a larger trailer or some kind of
information because I looked into it and it's still very confusing.
It's not out yet. It's quarter 4 2017, right? Yep. Fourth quarter. So we're still waiting for it at all. It's not on. It's not on PC. It's not on anything. So that one we're still waiting for something. People are saying Flipping Death. That's good. And Golf Story. How did I forget that? I need to see something about Golf Story. It's supposed to be a summer release. It's not out yet. What I would love to see is a game comes out today from the Nindies.
Yeah.
They announce it, and it's releasing today. After the Nindies end, it's up.
Well, if they're putting all that emphasis behind Meat Boy, it might be Meat Boy.
It might be Super Meat Boy. That's a good point. That might actually be the game that they just announce and release. Golf Story looks good. It's Stardew Valley kind of with golf.
Yeah, I mean, you don't do anything other than level up, get new abilities, and learn things, that's fantastic. And it's solving all world problems with golf. I mean,
yeah, right. That's great. Yeah, I guess. All right, so you want to see State of Mind?
I want to see something about State of Mind because if it's Daedalic, so far all I've seen, it feels kind of standard. Like it's just you in an ambient world. I want to see that moment where the guy's just standing on his balcony and the world starts like fading away or something, and you're just like, "What's going on here?" You want that moment.
You want to see some of that psychological kind of gameplay. That's a good idea actually. Less about like crazy run and gun action, more about like psychological kind.
Just expanding a story, showing a world from a different point of view than you'd ever expect.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. I guess that and Golf Story is the one I really want to see. I've made this pretty apparent in previous news waves and stuff. I'm ready to see some Golf Story. Hopefully a release date. That was one I was expecting in July, and we still don't have it, and it's September in 2 days. So hopefully we see it before we get into the fall. But I guess we're good. We're going to take a quick break, 5 minutes or so. We'll be back with the Nindies up, ready to go, and we'll be seeing some Nintendo indie games. So it should be fun. Cool. See you guys in about 5 minutes. Alright guys, we're back. We're ready to go. We got 5 minutes until the Nindies start, just in case you need to get a drink or some food or something. Got a little bit of time. We just wanted to get everything set back up here with our headphones and everything. But we're ready to roll. We went over some of the games we were looking at earlier in the pre-show. A couple of different, really just indie, some of the dark horses that you should be looking for, including, we said, State of Mind is a big one. So, looking for a few there, guys. But we have a couple minutes, so we are ready to go. Was there any, real quick in the chat, any games you guys were looking forward to or wanted to see release date for, or just more information? Go ahead and just go ahead, shout it out in the chat while we get ready here. Yeah, pull that up. There we go. And we're on, this is over on Nintendo's YouTube channel, just in case you needed to see it there as well. 9 Parchments. We actually had that one written down, actually. 9 Parchments.
Yeah, isometric action game. I mean, it seemed kind of basic, but maybe it'll show us something interesting.
Golf Story, yep. I just said Golf Story needs to be shown here. We will not see anything about Yooka-Laylee. They've made that very clear on Twitter. They missed the boat, apparently, whatever that actually means. I don't know. Yeah. But apparently they missed the boat on Yooka-Laylee, so there's that. And really, it's weird because Yooka-Laylee needs to be on the Switch sooner than later. I guess we'll see it sometime this year, end of the year maybe. But Battle Chasers, you were talking about that as well, Evan. Rocket League needs, I think we need gameplay for Rocket League, definitely.
I mean, they can't really show us anything other than guaranteeing us that it's going to be smooth.
That's the thing. That's the thing. A lot of people are like trying to figure out, why is there no gameplay? Is it choppy? What's going on here? So, Shakedown Hawaii, yes, I'm hoping for something with that too. And I mean, there's a lot of, I mean, they might talk about games that aren't just indie games. Like I said, we saw Payday 2 get announced out of nowhere last indie show that they did earlier this year.
Do you think if they showed off Rocket League, they should show a match versus like one person on every?
Here's the thing. That's interesting. You may see something about crossplay because keep in mind,
of course.
Well, here's the thing. Xbox, Switch, and PC are all fine doing crossplay. It's Sony that is the problem here. Apparently, they do not want to do any crossplay. But apparently, what they're saying, the Switch, the Xbox, and PC will all work together with that, which is crazy. Same with Minecraft. Yeah. Minecraft will do the same exact thing. So there's an issue there with Sony. They don't care because they're so far ahead. Why should they? So who knows at this point with that, but that would be cool though. You're right. If we were watching an Indies show for Nintendo and an Xbox shows up, that would be awesome. Although it might not be a bad idea on Nintendo's part to show something that they have that Sony doesn't have. So
yeah,
is that, you know?
Which really sucks. I remember it was like 4 years ago that Sony was heavily talking about crossplay at the very least the PC community.
Right.
They were talking about the Steam interaction and stuff, and how they were going to have the Steam client that launches from the PlayStation, which would have allowed you to play Portal 2 with friends. Like, it was a really cool idea, and they just, I guess, canned the whole.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's a little odd. I think our donation thing might not be working. A little ticker.
Not showing up.
I don't think. Well, it showed up here, but it didn't show up there. I just want to make sure I get their message and everything. I could bring it up here though. It's not a big deal. We're starting in about a minute, actually. So, less than a minute, even. Good stuff. Excited to see some Nindies. We have that down, too.
What's up?
The volume on that down?
No, I turned it up. You're going to have to tell us about the volume.
No, on the screen.
I don't know.
Oh, I'll take care of it real quick. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. I'll take care of it.
You have to let us know about the volume when this starts up, because I did kind of mess around with things, but his OBS is a little down. Oh yeah, it's all down. Here we go.
Why echoing, man?
Put your headphones back on.
There you go. Right away. Yeah, right away. Look at that.
This
We
is
dead
Meat
on about
Boy.
that.
Not actual game footage.
This is Bandage Girl. And this, well, this is Nugget. Their little bundle of joy.
Interesting.
Aww. this is Dr. Fetus.
This
He's
game
not a real
is,
doctor.
by the way.
Wow. One day, while our heroes were enjoying life, Dr. Fetus attacked them
Turn it down a little bit.
and kidnapped Nugget.
Oh, this should be co-op.
Oh, that's what I was. That's what I was
When our
thinking.
heroes
That's a good
came
point.
to and couldn't find Nugget, they knew what they had to do.
Just a little bit more. Oh snap! That's actually pretty cool looking. Let us know how that is, guys. This is actually really cool. Super Meat Boy Forever coming 2018. That's a good announcement because that's not.
That's a whole new thing.
Yeah, that's a whole new
I'm
thing.
Damon Baker, the penultimate boss of the publisher and developer relations team at Nintendo of America. This is my final form, and that was Super Meat Boy Forever, the beefy sequel to the beloved game that gave Team Meat an awesome anagram for a name. Like the original Super Meat Boy game, you'll find your meaty self leaping off walls, dodging buzzsaws, and doing other things that'll make you feel alive.
That looks
almost
so
the
cool.
Only this time, the fun never has to end, literally. Levels get harder each time you beat them, keeping things fresh as ground beef and clean wrap. And an updated control scheme, new ranking system,
They get
and daily
harder as
challenges
you-
That's
will keep you
interesting.
coming back for more. Super Meat Boy Forever will make its debut on Nintendo Switch next year.
Yep, they said that some would be next year. That's fine.
Games like Super Meat Boy Forever remind us that there are some things you just can't find in other art forms. And what better representation of that than to film here at Mopop, the Museum of Pop Culture in Seattle. This amazing museum not only embodies the influence that games, music, TV, and movies have brought to the world, but it will also be the setting of our annual Nindies at Night event on August 31st.
Yeah, we're gonna be
kicks
streaming
off
that too,
PAX
guys.
West with an open to the public event not to be missed. We'll be live streaming from the event, so if you don't have a chance to visit us here in Seattle, be sure to tune in.
I wanted
for
to go to that so
developer
badly.
Interviews, gameplay
People
reveals,
just fly
and maybe
one of these
even an
places
announcement
just
or
randomly.
two from our partners. And speaking of announcements, we have a metric ton in store for you.
Here we
From
go.
expertly crafted retro-style games
Some that
to
we know, some
experimental
I haven't
titles
seen.
on the
Oh.
cutting edge of the indie games industry.
What?
Today, you're going to see a bit of both.
Definitely
And
Golf Story.
everything in between.
Yeah, I saw that. That looked
First,
like
let's see
a
what's
way.
next for the 8-bit world of Shovel Knight.
Shovel Knight, here we go.
King Knight's Royal Adventure is the final campaign in Yacht
cards.
Club's Shovel Knight Treasure Trove saga, and it's bigger and grander than ever. In the Gilded Goon Zone prequel, travel through 4 new worlds and more than 30 all-new courses on a mission to best the 3 kings. Discover how King Knight ascended to the throne and became one of the Order of No Quarter.
If you don't have
in this court.
Shovel Knight, you're doing yourself
Collect
a
new
major
weapons,
disservice.
armors, and
Game
abilities
is awesome.
to look your dandiest as you pummel your foes with your signature bash attack. Had your fill of glamorous adventure? Then unwind and sharpen your strategic mind by competing in card battles with future subjects
Oh.
from across the land. You can dig into Shovel Knight King of Cards
Oh,
in
they're
early
early
2018.
All right. I like that we're at least getting
Now
something.
let's take a look at our next game, which should bring back some fond memories for anyone who has ever loved a game so much your mom had to hide it from you. Mom Hid My Game may seem like a simple seek and find game about seeking and finding a game, and, well, it is. But you've really got to push your imagination to solve each stage.
What is this?
Both the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo 3DS versions will include some exclusive stages when it launches
It's like
later
a
this year.
cheaper
And in the
WarioWare.
end,
What?
you may just learn to see all the fun hiding around you in everyday life. Maybe. Either way, it's definitely a great way to diversify your
Well,
Nintendo
at least we
Switch
get that one
library.
before the good.
Yeah.
Role-playing is almost always about knights hitting monsters with swords and arrows, and that's great. But how about an RPG where your weapon of choice is a set of clubs? Golf clubs, that is.
Yeah.
There we
Enter
go.
Golf Story, a massive journey through the wild world of golf, where each new area you visit contains new courses, towns, locals, and secrets to aim for.
Awesome.
This sporting saga has a dramatic story with a diverse cast of characters to meet, challenges to beat, upgrades to earn, and equipment to collect, not to mention disc golf, mini golf, and drone
Disc
play.
Disc golf.
Golf
What?
Story will
Drone?
launch this September.
September,
exclusively
okay.
On Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
That's solid.
September
With all
is
these
2 days
announcements,
from now.
maybe you need a little break. Breakbeat, that is. All right, okay. I admit it, I got
Cringy.
carried away there, but once you experience Floor Kids from the folks at Merge Media, you'll feel the same way. Check it out for yourself.
Rhythm game?
Lore kids.
3, 2, 1.
What is this? I don't. Trying to figure out what's going on right now here.
It's a rhythm game.
It is a rhythm game. Okay.
But how does it?
That's what I was trying to figure out how it works. Are you just hitting a button at the right times? Yeah, I mean the art style's alright. It has like that kind of sketchbook kind of look to it, but I'm trying to figure out how you.
I mean, hundreds of moves, many locations. Telling me much. Spot.
4, 3, 2, 1.
You just create a series of moves you're gonna use and see how they respond to them.
I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out how you.
All right.
Any release date or year? Or no?
This rhythm-based action game will give
Okay, we
you
go.
the expressive control you need to feel the funk and find your style. In a series of breakdance sessions, you'll bust out some fresh moves, earn respect, and recruit a diverse set of dancers as you reach new locations. Play the way you like in single or multiplayer modes with either traditional controls or touchscreen gestures. Amazing hand-drawn visuals by indie creator John John and a soundtrack by the one and only Kid Koala make this a must-have title when the game launches first on Nintendo Switch.
Coming
this
holiday.
fall.
Okay.
Many of us have fond memories of destroying enemies and tokens during the arcade scene of the 80s and the 90s. But now Wolverblade is bringing back that beat-em-up bliss,
Wolverblade.
no tokens required. The hand-drawn art lends to the cinematic nature, steeped in the deepest lore of Britannia, depicting real people and places from ancient Britain. You and a friend can bring beautiful vengeance on your enemies. as you
Call it like a
travel
beat 'em
from
up game.
Torchlit Woodland
I actually like that.
to
Like, the
Rome.
art style looks really
It's
cool right
pretty
there.
well styled.
Wolverblade
Yeah.
will storm the Nintendo eShop this September when it launches
Darkwind.
first
Wow, that's
on
September
Nintendo
also.
Switch. You don't have to be an architect to flex your engineering muscles in Polybridge, the bridge building simulator that proves it's just as fun
I've
to
heard
fix
about
things
this game.
up
Classic bridge
as it is to
building.
watch
Yeah.
them fall to pieces. Hundreds of levels and hours of physics-based puzzle solving will gear you up to jump in the sandbox and create your own incredible bridges.
There's actually a lot of
puzzle
people who really
levels,
like
and
this kind of game.
absurdities to show your
Yeah,
friends.
you have to be really
I can't
out
wait
there
to
if
see
you
what
wanna
you
take it
mad
to, like, a
geniuses
whole
come up
new
with
area,
when it
though.
launches this holiday on Nintendo
Holiday,
Switch
okay.
as a console exclusive.
Console exclusive.
Up next, our friends at Cardboard Computer and Annapurna Interactive
Probably 'cause that
are
touchscreen.
pleased to introduce you to a magical realist adventure game about a secret highway in the caves beneath Kentucky. Check it out.
I like the pace of this right now, by the way.
Yeah, super quick.
Lucky Zero TV edition. What?
Yeah, I heard this was a pretty good.
We're excited to announce that Kentucky Route Zero TV Edition is coming to Nintendo Switch, including the
on Steam for a
debut
while.
of the
People talked about it
long-awaited
as a really
fifth
good
and
one.
final act of the series. In this
Nice.
episodic tale, an antique furniture delivery man trying to make his small shop's last delivery gets lost along the way and meets a haunted TV repairwoman, a young boy and his giant eagle brother, a pair of robot musicians, and
This is on
dozens of
Steam
other
right now.
characters.
Should be, yeah,
Together,
most of the
they
episodes.
explore the
I guess,
nocturnal
but the
highways
final
and
episode's
country
getting
roads of
released
Kentucky,
with this.
the storied
Oh.
Echo River by ferry, and the mysterious Route Zero, the secret highway that runs through Mammoth Cave. Kentucky Route Zero TV Edition, which
Early
includes
2018.
all
I guess
5
alongside
acts
it
and
on
interludes,
Steam then also?
launches
Yeah.
on Nintendo Switch
Hmm.
early next year. Earth
Never heard of
Atlantis is digital proof that side-scrolling shooters can be more than a blast from the past. They can also offer a startling look into the future, one where an impending disaster called the Great Climate Shift of the 21st century covered 96% of the Earth in merciless water. As one of the last survivors of humanity, you must explore this new underwater world and hunt down monstrous creature-machine hybrids. Multiple ships with special weapons and a power-up system will bring the fight to the ocean floor when Earth Atlantis launches first on Nintendo Switch this fall.
This fall, okay.
Next up, the debut game from Digital Continue, Founded by industry veteran Joe Tringali, executive producer of Scribblenauts, Locke's Quest, and Drawn to Life. It's called Next Step Hero, and it's a community-driven online action game where everybody dies, but the fighting spirit lives on. When one hero falls, an echo is left behind, and the next hero can revive them as an AI companion.
So it's like
as a result, you'll take turns fighting and dying beside your friends.
It's like
So
a
it's like Rogue Legacy.
pseudo-roguelike.
yeah, it was like
Choose
Rogue
from
Legacy.
9
where-
heroes and wield everything from swords to rockets to bongo
When's that
drums.
out?
When the game launches on
Early
Nintendo
2018,
Switch
okay.
in early 2018, complete with a Joy-Con co-op mode.
Oh, nice. They got Joy-Con co-op mode there. That's
In
good
our
stuff.
first Nindies showcase last February, we had the privilege of debuting SteamWorld Dig 2.
Okay.
But there was one dirty little secret we left buried deep below the earth. When the heck can you play it? Perhaps this new trailer from Image and Form will help. Enjoy.
So we'll get a release date for SteamWorld Dig 2.
In her search for answers, she dug up more than she bargained for. The caves, the companions, the upgrades. The dangers.
I mean, it's a good looking game.
Steam World Dig
Just been waiting
2,
for that release date.
a first of its
Wow.
kind
Okay.
game
3 weeks.
Not bad.
again.
September 21st.
Now, let's return to the surface of the Earth so we can explore
That's
a corner
good.
of it rarely seen in fiction. I'll let the trailer get us started.
That's actually sooner than I thought it'd be. Is this
No.
alive?
Maybe?
Oh, what is this? It's something else. Oh. What is this? What? Malacca. Okay. No release date or
Company.
early 2018. Okay.
All the good ones pushed to after the holidays.
The developers at
Oh.
Lienzo have created this
Yeah,
lush
Lienzo.
game world inspired by the Tarahumara's wondrous Sierra and its inhabitants. Famous for their running skills, they were once known as skilled warriors. And so you must live up to your ancestry by battling mythical creatures, solving puzzles, and undergoing magical transformations. Wield the power of the gods on your quest to become a true Sakurame when Malacca releases on Nintendo Switch with exclusive features and functionality early next year.
Yeah, I've never heard of that one.
There's only one problem with adventure games, a distinct lack of elephants. But never fear, Yono is here, and he's basically a one-mammal army. He can run, open chests with his trunk, headbutt bad guys,
Oh,
spray
that's awesome.
water, blow flames, push blocks, throw explosives, mess with chickens, you know, hero stuff. But it's just so cute when he does it. Elephants never forget, and you shouldn't either. This game launches on Nintendo Switch October 12th
Oh, there you go,
as a
October 12th.
console exclusive.
There's a console
Inti Creates
exclusive.
has already released some amazing content on Nintendo Switch, including Blaster Master Zero and Mighty Gunvolt Burst. It's safe to say they kind of know what they're doing.
Mighty Gunvolt Burst, nice.
And that's why I'm thrilled to show you their next big thing, Dragon Marked for Death.
What?
It's a side-scrolling action RPG that you can play alone or with up to 3 friends via local or online play.
3 friends, nice.
No matter what, you'll forge a pact with a dragon to
He
gain
said
new
online
strength.
also.
Protect the party as a warrior, become the empress of attack power, fool your foes as a shinobi trickster, or
Oh,
use
that's
the witch's
cool.
magic to heal an attack.
Level to get
With
levels.
30
and everything.
enormous quests, you'll have hours and hours of action to fight through. When the game launches exclusively on Nintendo Switch,
It's
Winter.
exclusive.
Nintendo Switch
fantasy
exclusive. That's
fans
big.
have endless appetites, and apparently not just for adventure. Orcs, elves, and humans have one thing in common: a need to feed.
Battle
and that
Chef?
means they need to hunt for ingredients.
So it's like it's
Of
for you,
course,
R. Potter.
I'm talking about Battle Chef Brigade from Trinket Studios and Adult Swim Games. It's one part
Adult
combo-based action
Swim.
game, one part match 3 puzzler,
Maybe.
and an all-around
What?
feast for fans of 2D animation. Discover each character's personality and cooking style as you play through their campaigns, or challenge the leaderboards when the game launches first on Nintendo Switch this holiday.
Well, at least this is a different
Adult
idea.
Swim.
Yeah, Adult Swim games. At least it's a different
Our
idea.
team is constantly looking for popular genres that may be missing from our catalog, and that's why we're pumped to introduce you to a brand new shooter for Nintendo Switch that's unlike anything you've ever seen.
Unreal Engine, all right. Yeah, right.
Also, you play a robot that we built. Apparently have sugar skull heads.
4v4 multiple. Okay, so it's a shooter. They don't have a lot of shooters. That's good. What? There's their body? What?
I think I've seen
What?
this. No, I think I've seen this.
Well, from the body. What?
Yeah, no, I've seen this. I saw footage of it. I had no idea what
What?
the hell this was about.
What? Well, that's different. Body set. This is interesting. This could actually be good for their online.
So weird. The first time I saw it, it has not changed.
Is this on Steam? What?
Morphe's Law, yeah.
Morphe's Law is sure to cause mass hysteria when it launches
Winter time,
first
okay.
on Nintendo Switch as a console exclusive.
Console exclusive too. Huh.
Have you ever wanted to play a physics sports game about adorable floppy-necked animals competing on a reality TV show? I know this guy has. Well, look no further, as Sausage Sports Club features multiple game modes, arenas, and playable characters,
What?
which should provide the fuel needed for up to 8 players to roast each other. You can even control your silly animal's flopping head with Joy-Con motion control. Check it out when it launches first on Nintendo Switch this fall.
They have announced quite a few games right now.
In Light Fingers, 1 to 4 players manipulate a magical clockwork board in this turn-based multiplayer game featuring real-time challenges, devious opportunities for misdirection, and of course, lots of loot. With procedurally generated boards, you'll never fight the same battle twice, and support for tabletop mode makes it the perfect portable board game for you and your friends. Play nice, or not, when Light Fingers launches first on Nintendo Switch early next year. We've all heard of beat-em-up games, but what about a blast-em-up game? This is Nine Parchments.
Yeah.
A local and online co-op game for up to 4 players about
Wow,
wannabe
yeah.
wizards on a fast track to almighty power.
Kind of reminds me
As
of
you
Gauntlet
battle
Legends a little
strange
bit.
creatures and mighty bosses,
well, there's a lot of
you wield an
isometrics like this,
ever-changing
like,
arsenal of
Forced
spells,
was one of the big
unlock new
ones that was in
characters,
this
level them
style.
up, and earn new hats and staves. The breathtaking world
Hat
of the Trine
earning.
series is yours to protect when the game launches on Nintendo Switch this holiday.
Holiday. Okay.
All right, folks, we have one more game to reveal.
Only one?
I'm really glad that we saved it to the end because we would have melted your faces off. It's my honor to introduce the latest game from the punk rock styling of Suda51 and
What?
Grasshopper
Oh.
Manufacture.
What?
Enjoy.
Is this? No. Oh! That's awesome! Is there No More Heroes? Their new No More Heroes game?
It looks like it.
Oh my gosh!
Time to play ball.
20th anniversary.
Take one more step, and you're dead. It's too late.
Jelly beans! Oh snap! Oh, that's awesome!
Bring it, nerd. Hey, you're dead.
Oh, that's so cool.
There's a new generation of gamers out there. Let me at least introduce myself. Grab it, gotcha. You murdered my dog. Don't pretend you forgot. Now you're just gonna confuse people. They need to know about
Whoa.
hardcore assassin and video.
Pedigreed middleware from Epic Games.
Bastard!
What?
To butter up the gamers. Your fight is here in the real world. Nice work, Mickey Mouse. The Death Drive Mark II, the Phantom Game Console. So this is where it's been hiding.
Travis strikes again. No more heroes. Wow, what a good way to end it.
As
Wow.
you can see, the indie influence is alive and well in No More Heroes, Travis Strikes Again, combining the eclectic style of Grasshopper Manufacture and a number of collaborations with prominent indie developers. 7 years have passed since the events of No More Heroes, and the Bat is here to exact his revenge on Travis for the murder of his daughter, Bad Girl.
We got a release date.
Just as the battle begins, the two men are inhaled by a phantom game console, the Death Drive Mark II. The only way out? Beat all 6 games and their respective bosses. Travis Touchdown will have his hands full when the game
2018.
launches
Okay.
exclusively on Nintendo Switch next year.
Switch
So
exclusive,
stay tuned
as we
for more.
expected it.
Thanks to all the amazing independent publishers and developers for their support of Nintendo Switch. And thank you, the fans, for your help in making our platform the definitive home for quality indie content. Take care and see you again soon.
That was a man. That was good.
Yeah.
That was good. That was good. I guess we'll pretty much transition right into the post show then. Just
Might
talk
as well.
about it a little bit. There was some there was some good stuff there. I was a little surprised at some of it, to be honest. We saw a few things that I wasn't expecting. I don't think we may as well start with the big one is the No More Heroes. And
Oh yeah.
I didn't expect No More Heroes at all.
I'm gonna take off the headphones.
Like, I don't think, did anyone expect No More Heroes? I didn't.
The way he described it, though, it sounded a little different than what you'd expect, because it was, you get absorbed by the game console, and it's apparently related to a bunch of other companies, so it might not be what we're thinking, because it sounds like you have to play through, he said, like 6 different games
Yeah.
and their bosses, so I think you have to actually play 6 different indie games in their styles using these characters.
That's interesting if they go that way. I don't know. That's interesting. You don't think they would let you play as, or you play as Travis Touchdown in all these different types of games?
Yeah, I think that's going to be the case. Because they showed Hotline Miami.
Mhm.
And if you're playing as Travis, of course, you get the lightning blade. So,
Right, yeah.
it's going to be a little weird.
Switch exclusive, though. That's big. I mean,
Yeah.
we kind of knew it would be
Yeah.
a Switch exclusive because they showed them originally when the Switch was announced and shown. They showed Suda 51 there, where they did that weird, like, what was that? Like, he kind of comes on stage and is like, does the whole pose and everything, and it was really awkward because the translator did not do a good job putting it over. But it was, man, what an interesting announcement to have that at the end of the indie games. That is so cool to have that. What else did you see there, though? Anything that really caught your eye?
I mean, Wolverblade might be interesting, of course.
That was the beat 'em up, right? That had that
yeah.
really cool looking art style.
Stylized, it should be fun, and it should be a great co-op game. Malaka, I don't know. It seems like it could be cool, but at the same time, it seems a little cluttered. The that one, like, native game.
What about Morphe's Law? Because that's an actual shooter that's going to the Switch.
I saw footage of that engine in practice
Mhm.
like a while ago, and I wasn't really that interested then, and it still just doesn't feel interesting now.
Yeah.
I mean, we already have Splatoon.
Yeah, but I mean that's more like a direct. This is more like an actual direct shoot. Like you're shooting at the people you're supposed to be.
Yeah, but then you're morphing
Yeah.
yourself, and
Yeah.
if you're doing bad, you get smaller, which makes you harder to hit, and it's...
I mean, it's interesting because it's another shooter. I guess it's something
Yeah.
for the Switch doesn't have a lot of shooters. You know, it's.
I don't know if this is the one it needs.
Yeah, I mean, it also depends on the price. Some of these games will depend on their price. Let's say Morphe's Law is like $15.
That
You
could
know,
be
that's like
worthwhile.
okay, it's $15. SteamWorld Dig 2 got a release date September 21st. A lot of people are looking for it, and that'll be one that you will see really take over the eShop charts for at least a week. I would
Yeah.
say. Looks good. Obviously, it looks. If you like SteamWorld Dig, you're gonna really like it. And then Golf Story, we got a release month, not a date, which is a little weird. Maybe they're trying to put it around SteamWorld Dig 2, because if Dig 2 comes out September 21st, that means Golf Story has to come out in the first week or so of September, or the last week. So maybe they're not even sure which way to go yet. But Golf Story looked awesome. I'm ready for Golf Story. It's an RPG with golf clubs and disc golf.
Yeah, they've added the disc golf, the drone golf,
yes.
or whatever. Man,
oh, that
really
looks
cool.
so good. It looks great. I am definitely ready for Golf Story, and it's soon. September is technically 2 days away, so technically it could release in 2 days.
Yeah, it won't.
Now it'll probably be like, if I had to put a date, I'm not looking at the calendar in front of me. I would say probably like September 10th or 11th or something like that, somewhere in there. Give it a good bit of time before SteamWorld Dig 2 comes out and takes over some of the charts. And then, I don't know, which game did you see that just looked weird? Like the rhythm game of Floor Kids?
I have no idea. They didn't show enough mechanics. They didn't talk about it enough. I have no idea how that game's going to be played.
Yeah, we didn't see much about it. We don't even know how you control that game. It was just like, I
So
guess you hit buttons.
You find new moves and get people to join your crew. Like, what? What are they? I don't get it.
Yeah, it was a little odd. 9 parchments looked like fun.
Yeah,
isometric.
looks like it'd be all right.
Yeah, it looked like good for co-op. 4 people it looked like can play that together. We didn't really learn anything new about that, from what I could tell. We know it's coming out holiday 2017. That's one we'd expect because we've heard about it for a little while. Again, no. Meat Boy.
Yeah,
Meat Boy.
that's cool.
What was that? That
That's
was out of
it's-
nowhere.
Yeah, that's cool that it's new because like the trick was always like, what were they just gonna get Meat Boy? What were they gonna?
That's
get
what we
as
thought.
an
They would just bring
enhancement?
over regular Meat Boy, and it's like the next level of Meat Boy, which is
And
so
the levels
cool.
get harder every
Yeah,
time you beat them.
I was trying to figure out how that works. Do you do the levels like what is that
Augment?
generate like procedural generation with that, or
No
you
idea.
keep beating it and they're like, we're gonna put another buzzsaw right here then and see
Yeah.
make this jump now
We're
kind
gonna
of thing.
we're gonna have to see how that pans out. Looks really interesting.
It's good that they basically. I mean, it almost looks like it's Meat Boy 2. I don't really know what else you can do with Super Meat Boy. Other than I guess what they're doing, which is make it harder and add some new characters and levels. It's great that they didn't just say, "Here's Super Meat Boy, good luck." It's like a whole new Meat Boy, which is great. That's so cool. Trying to think of anything else that really caught my eye. I mean, there was the Yono elephant, the little elephant guy that was running around.
You can enjoy that. That's fine for you.
Yeah. Did you have anything else that caught your eye?
No, I'm just kind of mad they didn't show off either
Did we
State
not
of
see
Mind
State
or
of Mind?
Away.
We didn't see State of Mind at all, did we?
No,
What was that about? How did we not see State of Mind or Away?
I don't know. I guess they just opted out. Either that or there's not enough to show off yet, which is possibly the case.
Yeah, how did we not see State of Mind? That's weird. That game looked so different from a lot of the stuff they were showing. We didn't see any of it. No State of Mind, no Away. Weird. I just realized that. Maybe it was because the No More Heroes thing kind of threw me.
Yeah.
But weird that we didn't see either of those. I don't know. Big announcement though from no Stardew Valley either.
Yeah, that's
No
kind of
Stardew Valley. I guess they really are just not ready yet. I don't know. We'll just see probably a random release date thrown out there at some point. Big thing though with No More Heroes. That's a massive announcement to have and somewhat show. We don't know everything about it, but we know it's coming next year, and we know that it's at least I guess it's almost done then. Development's I guess almost done.
Yeah.
So that's big. I don't think we saw any kind of gameplay for that at all. I think everything there was just a
Yeah, we
regular
definitely saw
cutscene.
cinematic. They
Yeah.
definitely hinted that it might not be what we saw as gameplay. It
Unreal
might be
Engine though.
something else.
Unreal Engine, and
Unreal.
they said middleware from Epic Games as well. I'm not really sure if they were doing anything extra there or that was it. Big deal. Oh, and I just got the email from them. I guess they were just talking about it.
I think our cameras froze.
It was we got the email from that's fine. From Indie Creates, and it's for Dragon Marked for Death. That's the 2D side scroller we saw. It looked good. Indie Creates is good with a lot of their games right now. I've been playing a lot of Mighty Gunvolt Burst, for example. That's kind of my go-to game right now. But it's interesting that we got that announcement ahead of. I think they have a Mighty Gunvolt game coming out tomorrow. I think it's the 3DS version that's coming out.
Yeah, I don't know. Our camera just locked up.
Camera froze. We're actually just about finished up anyway. But what's interesting is they do have Dragon Marked for Death for the Nintendo Switch coming out, and it should be interesting. But really, I need to see a little more with that. It looked cool because it had different classes and everything.
Uh-oh.
Oh well, there you go. It crashed. That's OBS for you, man. That's fine. Well, it looks like OBS crashed anyways. Thanks guys for tuning in. We crashed OBS.
Oh, your webcam.
Too much OBS for one day, I guess. Thanks guys for tuning in. We're good on that. Everything was great. Look for Newswave tomorrow morning. We'll talk about some of this, and then we'll we'll go over some other stuff, some gameplay tomorrow too for a certain game that's coming out tomorrow, Mighty Gunvolt. So should be fun. Thanks guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.